Is this where it begins? My God, what happens in 10 days? We come from young to old, getting a little gray. If I was 20 years old, I'd say, what's going on? Hello, everybody, what's going on? I don't have my eyeglasses on, but I can show you a few things. On Google 2 days ago, I already did one video. I called it 134. Saying 134, the number count for 1 is 34. If you bring 1 into two worlds, you end up with 102. You also end up with 109. 102 and 109 says I. Okay, it says I wish. It's an I wish. Je wish. In French, it says I wish. Jewish. Hebrew, okay, electronic I in the two worlds, being in the pocket between the two eyes. That's all you are. You are one person in the middle of this body that has two eyes. Has one mouth to feed, two mouths to feed. So when we go Google, okay, why don't we look at this? G-U-G-L-E. It's a jungle. Where do we get G-U-G-L-E? Well, inside G-L-E, the 7th letter, the 12th letter, 1 and 2 is 3, the 5th letter says gun, 735. 7 times 35 is 210, and 35 is 245, two worlds of the angle of 45. It's an angle of an opening 90 minutes or 180 minutes on a 2-turnstile clock. The reason they show 1-style clock is the 1-style clock is the one part of the body that you are in. 2 styles, it's a total of 180 minutes, but we live in the 1-side clock that goes 2 times around for the 2 worlds. Or do we count the complete clock? Okay, 180 minutes this way, 180 minutes this way is 45 degrees, 360 minutes, or 360 degrees might say one time around. We're in the question. Go, okay, this is an X and a 1. It's 9 for the letter I, okay, 9 is also for the letter R, okay, IR. This one is X11, which is L. Go, V, il, jungle. Go, life. Island is a jungle. Go, V. 7 and 15 is 22. 22nd letter is a V letter. Go for the life, the I-V-E, electronic world. Il says he, il. In French, he goes to the island of him. Has been, Hebrew, I wish. The total of Google is 22, 29, 39, and 7 is 46. The same number is 64 is Israel. The same number as Zion. The same number is 0. This 4 by 6 is 24 and 10 is 34 are 2 Roman numerals standing for XX. Would you like to see XX? Well, why do we not look at the tic-tac-toe number sign? Because the tic-tac-toe number sign is a diamond. If you extend the areas of the diamond out or the angled square, we would have this here, which is, you can see your X here, your X here, and your X here. If this were the spit where you put the pig to cook, you put this at this end, you put that part at that end, and you roast what's in between. That's why we can't count everything, because we count everything, they're just not together. Okay? So when you put it on a rack, this is 9, this is 12 for 21. What is in between 10? That is Jack. The 2 sides of a soccer field, also we're going to look at this, okay? And we're going to look at this as Uranus, okay? Go life. How about golf ball? What is the golf ball? What are we hitting in spirit? Equaling to 91 or 19. Soul equaling to 67. 13 equals 4. It'd be 1 and 4 says AD, or your DNA mixed up. This is the beginning of the connection of the 4. Do not forget, add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals, okay, to 10. Times 3 equals to 30, plus 10 equals to 40. Now, I'm going to do this twice. Multiply it by 3 or multiply it by 4. That's it. Earth and Mars. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4 corners. Because each corner, in order for it to get a dot, the corner has to be full. Okay? This is where you get a dot, where the whole thing is full. If it was not full, you could not get the dot. So therefore, inside of here, you'll have a dot here, a dot here, a dot here, a dot here. Yes or no? What would we end up in the center? What would our center look like? Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention, which was very, very funny, because when we're in the two world, listen how full and empty the two world is. It's an empty shell that something goes into. The word two, TWO, equals to 58. 5 and 8 is 13. 5 times 8 equals the monopoly board, an electric company. 2WO equals 58. Well, if 2 equals 58, 2, 5, and 8 is the center number on your telephone, the way the bells go. We spoke about this already. I wanted to jump onto something else and then come back if I could. And what I'm going to jump onto right now is I want to jump completely out. There is a setup in my area. Now, this should be in a different video. It's a setup that my grandfather had made. Okay, what happened on my grandfather's street? There were chickens and chicken houses. There were pigs and pig houses. There was a turkey house, and there was an egg barn. Okay, they grew different kinds of animal foods on the street. But the structure to the chicken house, they had one called Imperial. It was only one floor with a divided area for 2 rooms. Then they made Metro. Metro, they built 2 stories high, and they built 6. 3 and 3. Then they re-built 2 more and 2 more Imperials, one on each side of the house of the king. That was my grandfather. So because of this totality of the setup of the chicken houses and where the rooms were, because when they were finished, there were 3,000 chickens in a room, and the entrance to the building was in one corner. So if you would stand the building up this way, you would actually enter from number 9 or number 7. And number 9 is just the outside of the building. I want to talk about something else. When we wrote that word Barry Satoro, okay, S-O-T-O-R-O, it's all the same area. And happens to be 17, 18, 19, and 20. The average was 37, 37. Okay, in Chaldean, we stop. There is no 9 in Chaldean because the S, okay, is the connection between the Alpha, Omega, 1 and 9 of who the continuation of I am in the 8th world. So it starts off as number 1. It's not a 9. It's not a continuous, because the continuous of the spirit is when it reaches 19 on the second part of 36 numbers. Everything stops on 18. That's why in French it says 17, 18, 19, because it's 10 plus 7, 10 plus 8, 10 plus 9. It's separate factors. They're separating the 10. Okay? They can live alone on their own. Or it's because they're the doorway, or because it's in the 3rd world. We're now creating the ring of the crown. Okay? We had a killing plant to kill them. They call it an abattoir. If you slice it off and move the letters just a little bit, it'll say it's Father King. We had an egg farm, which is 5775, okay, which is coming up this year. We had a pig farm, which is 97.7, okay. It's a radio station that was just sold over to the Bell Company. I want to mention Flag, okay, GA, Gate Angel, FL in Flag. I'm going to show you something about FL in Flag, and the DRO, to pull the wool over your eyes, or drapeau, to pull the flag over your eyes. Am I on the wall or off the wall? If I'm on the wall, I've been born, I'd be the fly on the wall, number 29. If I'm off the wall, I would be 0FF, which would actually be 666 in regular numbers. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention, we were talking about the bell. We were talking about, 9 minutes. I'm trying to rush through this. There's a paintbrush waiting for me in the other room. So we talked about this. We talked about the chicken houses, the pig house, which is 977. PIG, which is 16, 9 and 7 is 16, 16 and 16 is 32. Bring on the light. What I saw about pig houses is people grow pigs and grow pigs and grow pigs. And in Germany, something big about the pigs, apparently Jews can't have pig houses, but something in Germany and the pigs, and somehow where does all our medication come from the pigs? Because many parts of our body is now made from the pig, because, hey, let's give man a new part from a pig. the drug man's body could never handle, we'll take out that part, replace it from a pig's part. And then he'll be able to drug him that way, because the regular DNA didn't work. So they're actually, by the time they're finished with man here, we wouldn't be here at all. Let me look back just a little bit on this. Let me look back. Just give me one more second. You don't mind, eh? I wish I can put this on stop. I will show you again. This setup over here. This is a leg. Imagine this was the stand for the spade or the club. This is what the Mitsubishi sign has showed me, and I'm just expanding on it just a little bit. Here's the other part. I was showing you X, 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 but it's not X, 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 X. W, V, W. Okay? X and O in the center. XO is what creates this. Then it shows you 4 worlds. You see those 4 dots? Well, those 4 dots are an association brought together in one cube over here. So it's actually showing zeros. It's actually showing 4 areas. Okay? The same thing with this. Again, tic-tac-toe. What can you do with it? Holding the bridges from side to side. The question is, what do we do with this? I did not talk about it. I did not mention. Okay? But I will bounce back and say that Google went to 46. Okay? Equals to 138. And in a short count, it becomes 148. If you count Google against itself, what I forgot to do in the last Google count, oh my God, I left out O and O in Google. I counted Go and GLE. I didn't count the other Go, so that would be 59. But I'm not going back that way. Again, inside Google, it has to do with the jungle. Okay, let me see if I put this down here properly. And again, back to German and the pig farmers. And there was Casper, the friendly ghost. And inside the mutants, I'm watching this movie called, let me take it out, X-Men. They're talking about the mutants. And again, back into Germany. Okay, mutation. Two last things before I go. They were talking about Bob. Bob is 262. How about 622-6, which represents, Bob represents the queen. How about Bob, as this letter over here, the B letter, is actually the crown to the king that you don't actually see, but it's in the chess game if you look around enough. At the same time, we can rip apart the B and make it like 13013 or 464, which is most part of Google, leaving out the second O. Okay, if you ever seen the devil's tail, it looks like an arrow. It also looks like the point of what the V is for the 5. The V center, the arrow of the devil, shows to which way man must go. It's just an Irish kite, okay? This is just what you can do to 1X. It's more than 1X if you can redesign it. See the Y, see the Y, see the L? Doesn't matter. What I did want to write down is this. At first, okay, it becomes part of a dart. Then it becomes part of a radish. Then I create it into its own area, if you want to call it the hockey rink. But if you look how I cut off the corners here, they become LF. FL, 6 and 12, 18. Reich, the world of Reich. This is this. When you put one of them together, okay, if I turn it over, you have the face and you have this inside. Have you ever seen this before? Well, what if these are guide rings, okay? What if it's a guide ring? This is a guide ring. And what if the guide ring is inside here? Does it look a little bit like Uranus? Why don't I just tell you it's the Liberty Bell? Uranus. Well, just a sign of Uranus inside Uranus, whatever Uranus represents. That's inside the Liberty Bell. Okay, that round ball. Like I said, it could have been the hole in a golf club, in a par 9, right? Jump off one more time. Usually in golf, they usually do not have a hole where it's a par 2. And in golf, I have not seen it yet, but they do not have a hole that's a par 6. Mostly of what they have is 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3. Well, 5, 4, 1, I would guess, say. Right? 5, 4, 1? Can you say it that way? This one's always number 1. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 1. 514 area code is the thumb. Questionable. It's all questionable what I'm doing right now. We do know that if you say Raphael, the H letter, if you just say H, an H letter, instead of saying PH, the H becomes H. So say PH as Apache. Apache. Raphael, Apache. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Have I put everything in here? Spirit is 91. Soul is 67. So one is 13, and the other one becomes 1, which becomes 1 and 4 again. But if I add 6 onto the 19, excuse me, if 19 becomes 10, 0 becomes 6, that becomes 7. The light becomes 13 inside the soul. 13 becomes 4, be 7 and 4. We now have Jesus on the cross. Do you follow me? S, spirit, is 91. It's everything. Soul is 67. It's 13. It's the red and white stripes of the flag. It's everything. It's everything. It's how you can build your own world. Should I not show you 75, 25? Jack 25, 57, 75, the year we're in. 25, 6, 25. Take away this one, we'll have a 6. Right? We turn it upside down. If we restructure these again, this is inside the 7, 2, and 5. The gateway to man is through his heart. Is that not right? That's what it says. The gateway to man, although the passage of all is in the mind, the gateway to man is in his heart. The only way to get man to change his computerized mental ability is in his heart. When he understands, it's because he chose to understand and made sense. So that means, is it not the brain that is the heart, or is it the heart that is the reader? So the question is it all in his mind? Is it all in his head? Where is man's head? Is it in his heart? What makes man's heart feel good or bad? Is it the way he thinks? That's the question I have to ask myself in order to better understand that question. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus in the year 5775. Happy Saint Jean Baptiste. This is the first time I've ever said that. Thank you for watching.